Aloha, beautiful beings. I am filled with such immense gratitude today. And I'm talking about human design and manifestation today. Instagram says, hang on, we're telling your followers to join. I trust and have faith that whoever needs this video will find it, and it will be exactly what you need to hear. I'll also be doing a card pull from one of my angel decks at the end, and if you would like your own card pulled for you and a little intuitive reading based off of that, you can donate $11 through the link in my Instagram bio through my link tree. If you just hit the mini reading button and you can type in $11, and I will DM you a personal reading and personal card pull from this deck and a little intuitive message based on what I feel you need to hear and what your guides are wanting to channel through me as a message for you today. Hi Ethan, welcome. I'm talking about human design and manifestation. And there's a hair right over my eyes. This is a reminder to stay hydrated. Well, I'm already manifesting generating so hard, like talking about cards, talking about water, getting distracted by my hair on my face. Life is so beautiful, and I'm just so grateful, and I would love to know one thing or a couple things that you are grateful for in your life. If you want to comment them below, I would love to hear them and share in that gratitude with you. So I felt called to do this video and talk about manifestation. I have been getting a lot of questions from clients and friends about human design, specifically as it relates to manifestation and like how to manifest following your design. And the message that keeps coming through with the answer to that question is following your authority and your strategy. That is the most important thing you can start with when it comes to human design. And your authority can either be sacral, emotional, it can be mental, self-projected, it can be, there's one I'm forgetting, ego, it can be, there's like one, a splenic, which is for projectors. So there are different, those are some of the different authorities. I feel like there's one more I'm forgetting. I believe there's a total of 7. But the most common ones are splenic, sacral, and emotional. The other ones that I mentioned are more rare, so I don't really talk about them much because they are more rare. Most people have one of those 3, sacral, splenic, or emotional. You can also have different types and different authorities in your mind and in your body. So for an example, my profile is a 1-3 and I'm a sacral manifesting generator, but that is in my body. So that's how my body and design is meant to operate. My mind, my personality is actually a splenic projector. And this takes the whole concept of human design a lot deeper for your individual. And if you're new to human design, maybe don't focus on that yet because it is very complex, and just focus on like what your actual design is, and how you can follow your authority based on that. Again, sacral, emotional, or splenic are the most common types of authorities. And I have a lot more information about each one on my YouTube channel that y'all can check out if you're new to it and are seeking tips and guidance for how to really follow that and align yourself with whatever your authority is. Ethan says, grateful for the breeze. Yes, same. It comes in waves here and it has been coming in waves all day, and it's so nice when it comes through. It's like, can get a little hot, and then right when the breeze comes, it's like, oh, perfect timing to cool me down. Nature is amazing. We really truly do live in such a beautiful place and on such a beautiful planet. So that is like the first step to following your design and really living in alignment with what you want to create, what you're manifesting. And I really felt called to talk about this today because, again, like I said, I've had a lot of clients ask me this question, a lot of people that I've been, just chatting with about human design asked me about manifestation specifically. And this conversation actually came up last night. I was hanging out with a bunch of friends and we were just playing music and having a good time. And one of my friends was like, how did we all manifest this? And my other friend was like, well, like, let's change the way that we think of manifesting, because I feel like it's such a concept that's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not coming to me. It's such a like hot thing and like a fad. It's kind of like a fad right now to talk about manifesting and to like focus on, oh, what are you manifesting? What are you calling in? Like, and I feel like it kind of puts this pressure. Like, yes, it's important to honor our desires and to have desires, and those are inevitably leading us to what we want, which is what we're manifesting. But we can put a lot of pressure on ourselves when we're trying so hard to manifest a certain outcome or a certain result. And this is what came up in conversation last night when we were all hanging out. We were like, wait, which one of us manifested this? And they're like, well, like we all co-created this together. Like it wasn't just one of us that was like, I want to have this experience and that manifested it and called it in. It was like all of us being a certain way and then coming together and being that way together and like amplifying that. And that's really what manifestation is like, when you're being a certain way, when you're acting as if, and that's why they say like in manifestation and law of attraction, like to act as if, because that will inevitably magnetize and attract the things and experiences to you that align with that way of being. This is also called a be, do, have model. So it's so important to be what you want to be in order to do the things that will create that in your life, to have what you want to have, instead of acting from the opposite and thinking that once we have a certain thing, then we can do the things and then we can be the thing that we want to be. Like it's really about being that first, and that is what manifests. That is what attracts things to you, is coming from that place of being. And so that's what came up in conversation last night, is like we were all like singing and like having a good day, and then of course like we all started to like come together and do that. Like we were doing that individually. Like I woke up and me and my roommate were like singing and like just singing about the endless mangoes that we have right now that are just falling from the trees, and then we co-created this experience with more people to sing and to have fun together as well. I'm gonna close the door real quick. But so that's really like what manifestation is. And again, bringing this back to human design, it's like really about following your authority. And if you're a sacral being, like doing the things that light you up, that call those and magnetize those experiences to you, that are just going to amplify and further magnify that energy of what it is that you want and what it is that you're quote unquote manifesting. I wrote a note here. It says it's not us that creates the manifestation. It's like a download from our higher self, and really like us tapping into what that future version of us is going to have, what calls that in, and it's our way of being that aligns us to that. And it's like when we are so focused on like not having the manifestation, and this is where I think we can get ourselves into trouble as like people that are consciously creating our reality and like focused on manifesting, as if we're so focused on it and so like gripping on to having that, then it puts this expectation on us, and we get like up in our heads if it's not happened yet, or if it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And that's where we kind of get ourselves into a little bit of trouble, I feel, is like expectation, and having that expectation of like, I need this to happen, I want this to happen, why hasn't it happened yet, why doesn't it look like it's going to happen? And that like prolongs the inevitable, which is the manifestation. And so it really comes down to just allowing yourself to, again, like be that person that already has that thing and acting from that place. And that will magnetize all the experiences and the opportunities and the people to you that will further align you with that manifestation. But thinking like, oh, why hasn't it happened yet? Or why isn't it here yet? Or how can I make this happen? Like, it's almost like we trip ourselves up and we prolong the inevitable. Like your manifestation, whatever your calling is inevitable. And you being focused on like the how or the when, or like it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So like, how can it happen if it doesn't look like it's going to happen? Is just prolonging the inevitable, which the inevitable is your manifestation. And I really am more coming into this place and this belief lately, in this faith of like, it's already happened. Like whatever I want has already happened. And the wind just picked up, which I just like see as a confirmation of what I'm saying. I feel like whenever there's like loud wind or loud noises, it's just like an amplification and like a confirmation of whatever you're talking about or whatever you're thinking. So pay attention to like noises and sounds around you, because they're either they're sending you messages. But I feel like I got off on a tangent there because of the wind. It got me excited. But I feel when we truly are living from that place of like knowing that our manifestation is inevitable, that's when it's like an effortless flow, and that's when it comes in quicker than we could have like expected or imagined or like mental figured out for ourselves, or figured out the actual like physical how it's going to happen. And I'll give you guys like an example of this in my actual life. And this is something too I was talking about yesterday in a clubhouse, because someone asked me this question of like, so how do you manifest like based on your human design? And again, it all comes back to authority and following your authority, doing what lights you up if you're a sacral, doing waiting for clarity if you're an emotional, following the intuitive nudges and hits that you get if you're a splenic, and really like allowing yourself to live and flow with that, and not force yourself to have it figured out or to know when it's going to happen. I feel like that part of us that wants to do that just prolongs it, and you're sending the message to the universe of like, oh, I don't have this yet. How's it going to happen? Like, when's it going to show up? Like, when's it going to be here? And that creates anxiety, because we're living in the future. We're not living in the present and doing the thing, or like being the thing that already has that, and then allowing ourselves to do the opportunities and the things that align us with that even further. So it's like when we are so stressed and so focused on like when or how is this going to happen, it's sending a message, it's like a subtle message to the universe of like, oh, I don't believe it is going to happen, or I don't believe it already has happened. Because bringing this back to quantum physics, everything is all existing right now, and the things that you want to create have already been created for you. It's really just about you being that person that knows you already have it, and that's what will like help you align again with the opportunities, with the things that will bring it in for you, and following that sacred, or following your authority in each and every moment that will guide you to the right things. Everything that's happening to you and for you right now is perfectly how it's meant to. And we don't always necessarily get what we want or what we think that we want in each and every moment, but we always get what we need, and it's always leading us to the manifestation that we're calling in. And so I think I was going to share with you guys an example from my own life. Oh, this is what I was going to share, is that it's like when we plant seeds and when we start a garden, like we have to wait. You plant the seeds and then you wait for the things to grow. It doesn't happen overnight. And if you like go out there every single day, like, when are you going to grow? How are you going to grow? Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't look like you're growing. Like, how's it going to happen? Like, it's been a day and it doesn't look like you're growing at all, seed. Like, what are you doing? How are you going to be a plant? It's like, if we're focused constantly on like the how and the what and the when, then we're like sending the message of like not trusting and not having faith in that like seed growing into an actual plant. So it's like, to apply this to the analogy of like planting a seed and waiting for it to grow into a plant that then fruits or provides vegetables or whatever the plant is. Let's, as an example, use a tomato plant. So you plant the seed for a tomato plant, right? And it's not going to grow into a whole plant tomorrow, but you have faith that it's going to eventually be a tomato plant and then flower and provide you with tomatoes, which is the end result, the manifestation. Right? So if you just like go out there every single day not trusting that it's going to grow into a plant and that it's going to provide you with tomatoes, then it probably never will, because you don't have faith that it will that it will like do whatever it needs to do every single day to grow into that plant. And that's like a perfect example of how we can align ourselves with manifestations in our life is like trusting that it's already inevitable. That tomato plant has already grown, it's going to grow. Even if it doesn't look like it's grown yet, even if the seed is still like, you know, flourishing, taking in nutrients from the soil and like growing through the process of being a plant, like we have to trust that it will inevitably and eventually be a tomato plant. And this is like a perfect example of actual manifestation. We have to trust in the inevitable, that the seeds that we've planted for our manifestation will flourish and grow into whatever it is that we want to create. And then that in turn will put us in alignment with all the things that will lead us to that manifestation, inevitably, eventually. And again, we don't always know how or when that's going to happen. And another example of this from my own life is like for the past couple months, really ever since I got to Hawaii back in April, I've been wanting to be surrounded with mango trees, and I've been getting closer and closer and closer to the manifestation of like wanting to have like a mango tree like that I have access to and have mangoes falling from all the time. And so I was like, you know, set that intention, like I want this to happen. And I went shopping somewhere, like when I first got here, like I think it was my second month here in Hawaii. I've been here for, what was April, like 4 months ago? I don't even know, 5 months ago now. But so I went shopping and like someone brought a mango and was like, hey, I just found this, like, do you want it? And the woman at the store was like, oh, we have so many like growing from our tree. Do you want this instead? And I was like, yeah. So that was like a first sign of the manifestation, because I was like already believing, like, even though I don't know how or when this is going to happen, like I don't know how or when I'm going to get a mango tree, but I kept seeing signs of like, this is happening, you're aligning with the things that you need to be aligning with that will bring this in for yourself. Of the, you know, having the mango being brought to me, and just kind of like that kept happening to me throughout the weeks and months that I've been here. And then 2 weeks ago, I found a place to move into that literally has like at least 4 or 5 mango trees. Haven't counted them yet. I think there's actually six mango trees, and they're popping off right now. But it took time to call in that manifestation and to have that physical reality of like mangoes falling off the trees and having an actual mango tree in my life. It took time, and that's what is required, like a little bit of patience to really like know and trust. And again, this is where surrender and faith and trust comes in, that the manifestation we want to create is inevitable, and we don't always know how or when. But when we trust that it's coming no matter what, that it is inevitable, it will lead us to the things that will call that in to our life, if that is making sense. So I just felt called to share that today, because I feel we can get so tripped up with our manifestations, like again, having the expectation of things need to look a certain way, and like, why isn't it happening? And we can get really hard and down on ourselves about it. And it's like, everything in your life right now is leading you to your manifestation, which is inevitable. And when you trust and believe that your manifestation is inevitable, it not only takes the pressure off, but it allows you to have more peace in your life, and probably will even call in that manifestation more quickly, because you have surrendered to the process and learned to embody the fact that everything that's happening for you right now is inevitably leading you to that end result. And you always get what you need, even if it's not in line with what you told yourself that you want or need to have at this moment. Like, what you need is always given to you by source, by the universe, by God, whatever you want to call the infinite intelligence that is in charge of the divine plan of all of us, and wants to give us our manifestations when we trust that they are coming no matter what it looks like. There's this also great analogy that, Christopher Columbus, when he was sailing around like to different places, he would always know that he was close to land, because he would start to see sticks in the water, and he would start to see birds. And that is like a sign that you're close to land. And that is something you can apply to your manifestations as well. Like, how have you already called in little signs here and there of what you already want to create? So that is a perfect example of really just coming back to trusting and really allowing yourself to see, those little signs that are leading you to the inevitable, which is your manifestation, and following your authority along the way will guide you there even faster and be provide you with more ease and flow during the process as well. And if you're a sacral, so I'll run down the authorities real quick, like briefly, because there's so much I could say about each authority, anyways, if you're a sacral being, like allowing yourself to do the things that light you up and saying no, a firm no to what doesn't. If it doesn't light you up, if it doesn't expand you, it's a no. If it's not a hell yes, it's a no. And this is so important for sacral beings to embody. If you're an emotional authority, waiting for clarity to come, and also following whatever your strategy is, whether that's as a generator to respond, as a manifestor to inform, as a projector to wait for recognition, like really living in alignment with those two things is going to, help you align with your manifestation in a way that's easy and in flow and in harmony, and helps you find peace throughout it all, throughout the journey. And if you're a splenic projector, again, like listening to those intuitive hits and nudges and waiting for recognition when you want to share your gifts. Okay, so the card pull is ask and receive. So synchronistic. Yeah, it's like whatever you have asked for, you have already received it. And I know this is can be really hard to wrap your head around. And it takes practice, and it's so much easier said than done. And it also is really hard to communicate these things. So if you can just tap into the energy of feeling as if you already have that thing, what is it that you're wanting to manifest right now? And what are the feelings that that's going to provide you with? And how can you feel those right now, regardless of having or not having in the physical that manifestation? Because you have already received it. Again, in the quantum, it's already done. You've already asked for it and you've already received it. So aligning yourself with that is just a matter of tapping into the feelings of you having it already, and that is going to align all the things to you that will lead you to that end result that is inevitable, which is that manifestation. The other card that came out, this is so synchronistic. I don't even know why I'm shocked right now. Signs and reminders. Again, what are the signs that you're getting close to the manifestation? What are the signs that you're getting close to land? Seeing birds and sticks. What are the signs that you're already in alignment with that creation, even if it's not fully presented itself to you yet? What are the signs and the reminders that you're in line to it, that you're on the right path? And how can you remind yourself of, I've already created so much, even if it's not this really big thing. I've created a lot of small things that I know are leading me to the inevitable, which is that big thing. So how can you acknowledge the signs and the reminders that are already showing you that what you want is inevitable and already yours? You've already received it because you asked for it. It is yours. And I love the night moon analogy here too, and the butterflies. Maybe you've even been seeing a lot of butterflies or feathers or rainbows. There's a lot of symbology in this card, which is super beautiful. And again, if you want your own card pull, it's $11 donation, which you can do through the link in my bio. If you hit mini readings, I have a lot of mini reading options. I'm really loving doing those right now. So if you want one, you can click that option in the link in my bio and my link tree, and $11 for an intuitive card pull and little channel message for you, because these are for the collective. I'm gonna pull one more just to see what else we have for talking about manifestation, because I am really feeling called to reframe the way that we've thought about manifestation in the spiritual community. I don't even know what the label is for it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That was too many cards. I want one card, please. I'll take what's on the bottom. Intuition and downloads. I feel like this card came out for someone recently. Yeah, how can you trust your intuition to lead you to what it is that you want? And again, it's already happened. and aligning yourself with those feelings is what is going to create that to come in for you. So I hope this was helpful for you all. Sending you all so much love for your day. I hope to see you at my full moon experience with Sarah, my dear friend Sarah, on Monday. The information for that can be found through the link in my bio as well. And I posted about it in my stories if you want to know what all it will be, what all we'll be doing. It's going to be a really beautiful experience and immersive journey for the full moon. This is a really big one, so it's time to awaken to your divinity and claim what it is you're dreaming of and how you can create that for yourself right now and moving forward through the next year. So yeah, sending you all so much love, and I will see you again soon.